We're from Gelton, Pennsylvania.
We're originally from Nebraska.
My heart is thumping through about to pop through my chest.
The longest wait begins for the families of soldiers who have been in Iraq for nearly a year. They're coming home early, thanks to President Obama's call to end combat missions in Iraq by the end of the month. But that doesn't make this wait any easier.
We've had the date of the 15th, then the 18th, and now the 19th, and we know he's on this plane.
Be here at 6:30 p.m. Your husband's going to be. I'm like.
At not 6:30, but 6:05, here comes the plane. Outside, the soldiers finally step foot again on American soil. Inside, their families watch, cheer.
There he is!
And then continue to wait for another 2 hours while the soldiers go through customs and the exit process.
It's hard, but it's exciting. We waited 11 and a half months for him to come home. We can wait a couple more hours.
The soldiers enter. The families can see, but still can't touch. Not till a brief welcome home ceremony. But after that, it's time. And even after the longest wait, this feeling never changes.
This is my little girl Zion. It's my first time meeting her. She was born this past June, and I'm just happy to be back.
Get to hold your boy in your arms.
Absolutely. It's the best feeling in the world, especially when you come home and he smiles.
Matt Pearl, 11 Alive News.
Sometimes it's the little things that Rafael Diaz appreciates most. Checking the oil, kicking the tires. But it's when he climbs behind the wheel of his big Peterbilt and feels the engine rumble to life that he starts to really grin.
I'm very happy that I'm back.
His job is his independence, making his own way through an honest, productive living. Back in July, he wasn't sure it could happen. After the accident, there was no vision in his right eye, bones crushed so the eye wouldn't even stay in place. But look at him now.
I might have like a 20/30 vision out of this eye.
There is some scarring that will fade even more, but with surgery and patience and recovery, he's getting back to normal.
I'm back at it due to so many people, from their care, their contributions, their blessings, their prayers. I really wouldn't be anywhere where I am right now without that support that I received from so many people.
This is the tanker trailer he was driving when the accident happened. It's parked here in the yard, a reminder to other drivers to try to be prepared for the unexpected, a reminder to Rafael of just how far he's come.
And the beating was really uncool.
He's able to joke about it now, but the wreck brings painful memories.
I think about it quite often sometimes. I even travel down that same road.
But thoughts now, as always, are about forgiveness, not anger.
Good things can't work in your life if you're too busy holding anger. You gotta move on.
Which is exactly what Rafael Diaz is doing. In Atlanta, Blair Meeks, 11 Alive News tonight.
A soldier stand.
With each step,
I'm going to take a soldier stand.
Soulful singing through the streets that have seen tragedy and change the past 12 months. That's why Sonia Robinson is putting one foot in front of the other.
The increase in police visibility, the change in the neighborhood as the people are coming together in support of what has happened.
933 Neal Street is their destination, the former home of Kathryn Johnston. The elderly resident died in a botched drug raid with Atlanta narcotics agents 1 year ago. Some of the marchers didn't even know Kathryn Johnston, don't even live in this neighborhood, but they still want residents to know that they care.
This neighborhood can be won back from violence, drug activity, prostitution, and whatever else is going on.
So I just want to stand here with these candles today and give tribute and thanksgiving for the life that has helped us see the need that we need to come together.
Johnston's death brought distrust, rage, but eventually healing.
Nothing can rectify that, but what we can do, we cannot let that death be in vain. We can show the people that love can hide a multitude of faults.
In Northwest Atlanta, Elaine Reyes, 11 Alive News.
We have had a number of thefts from secured or gated apartment complexes.
You're watching two suspected thieves try to talk their way into a condo parking lot. Security doesn't buy their story.
And they're being told to leave. But a resident walks up behind them, who's tired of waiting behind them, uses their swipe card to let them in.
Police say after 45 minutes of trying to break into apartments and cars, These guys leave with one of the easiest things to steal, a $3,000 scooter.
What makes people want these things is also the thing that makes them so easy to steal. They weigh less than 200 pounds. But there is an inside secret we're going to let you in on if you want to keep yours from getting stolen. Lock it.
No kidding. The guys at Moto Bravo say you chain it to something, you keep it.
It's like, please don't get a scooter without a lock.
This one costs about $100.
I tell all my customers that come in, you absolutely have to have a chain or lock these securely. These will disappear just like bicycles.
Without a good chain, these guys say you might as well just leave a couple $1,000s laying on the street. You never know who's going to pick it up. In downtown Atlanta, Ted Hall, 11 Alive News.
It's been a very interesting situation. Didn't expect anything more than a little curiosity, and just that initial scooping of, thank you very much, it's mine now, was really, really cute.
Neither of us really wanted a cat, and we were both allergic, and Ellie was so protective of the kitten that the two dogs were, or she wouldn't let Mabel around the other one, so it was a little stressful. She just wouldn't leave this kitten's side. Now it's gotten a little bit better, where she'll come out to eat and drink and go to the bathroom, and that's about it. We couldn't stop taking pictures. Couldn't believe it, and you could see the stress in Ellie's eyes that we were going to take her back.
She doesn't sleep.
Oh yeah. And then the kitten is starting to walk, and if she gets away from her, she either drags her back by her tail, or she'll pick her up and place her again. Gently, yeah. And she'll carry her up and down the stairs. If she wants to go somewhere, she usually brings the cat with her.
And she's a Facebook following right now. So.
Yeah. People are like, can we get more photos? And they've sent them to Florida and upward. It's just gotten around. People just are emailing and Facebooking us to send them more pictures.
This weekend, the Super Bowl of marching bands was played before a sold-out crowd at the Georgia Dome. 11 Live photojournalist Gary Stilwell captured the sound and fury of today's Battle of the Bands.
Well, this is Honda Battle of the Bands. This is the best of the best. Since the movie Drumline, HBCU bands have starting to get some attention in the mainstream media. Having an event like this with 65,000 people every year coming to see the best HBCU marching bands being showcased at one time. It has evolved because I would say 10 years ago, a lot of bands the general public did not know. And now majority of HBCU marching bands are general knowledge to the general public. Anytime you go to any venue, but especially the Dome in Atlanta, you go to a venue and it's sold out. That means a lot of people really value what you bring to entertainment. Each one of these bands have brought alumni, family, but a lot of people here today are just fans of marching bands, and they're just here to see a good show from 10 college bands.
And while the bands were battling it out at the Dome, inside this box, and I'm opening it for the first time, it's really amazing to know that this is the first step in the journey of telling me who I am. This is the maternal lineage test, so it is going to trace the lineage of my mother. I read through the materials, filled out a short questionnaire, and swabbed my mouth for the DNA samples. Then I sent the kit back to the lab. The African Ancestry Project has collected DNA samples from thousands of tribes and ethnicities throughout the continent. And I decided to ask my friend and Georgia State Professor of African American Studies, Karshik Alvarado, to help me interpret the findings. The results revealed that I share a common ancestry with people living in two countries today. The Bubi people in Bioko Island, which is Equatorial Guinea, and the Tikar, Hausa, and Fulani peoples in Cameroon.
Well, based on what I do know about the Hausa and Fulani people, they actually came from around this region right here. We have the Hausa, the Fulani, in this particular region, what is considered to be modern-day Nigeria. What you may not know is, right here on the side, we have a little island, and that's the Bioko Island.
Oh, okay.
And that's where your ancestors came from.
One interesting fact was about the tiny Bioko Island, where many people went because they feared being enslaved by other Africans.
But with your particular family, what's so unique about it is that you have individuals that will actually leave from the Cameroon area and migrate to this particular island, hoping that they could actually isolate themselves away from being captured.
Right, but obviously that wasn't the case.
Right.
In fact, as the economy in the Americas grew, more workers were needed, and Bioko Island was no longer a safe haven. In the trade, my ancestors ended up in Texas and lived there even after the official end of slavery in this country.
Your ancestors may have actually remained in Texas because of what few opportunities that actually existed for them.
Still, they made the most of those few opportunities, and now I stand as a proud symbol of their journey and their triumphs. That's who I am.
You woke up this morning, got yourself a gun. Your mama always said you'd be the chosen one. She said you're 1 in a million, you got to burn the shine. You were born under a bad sign with a blue moon in your eye. And you woke up this morning, all that love had gone. Your papa never told you about right and wrong. But you're looking good, baby. I believe that you're feeling fine. Shade my body, born under a bad sign with a blue moon.
The Sopranos gay mobster Vito Spadafore escaped the mean streets of New York for a week to check out the happenings in and around Atlanta. I caught up with him in Midtown as he was dining out with friends at Spice.
I'm not that a method actor. Although a lot of the guys on the show wanted to rehearse the scene with me.
Joe says he just lucked up on the gay mobster plot, and the producers of the Emmy Award-winning show loved it.
It was actually from a book I was reading about an openly gay mobster, and I wanted something to break away from the other actors. It's not really what I had in mind.
What can I do for you, Phil? Vito. Do we know where he's at?
But the role took off, and with it, Joe took off more than 100 pounds.
I was thin my whole life. I was a ball player and always went to the gym. I started over my own restaurants, and I started gaining weight. I had never any time. So finally I had enough, and I started taking H57 Hoodia, and I dropped 160.
So how hard was it for him to make out with another man on the show with his newfound weight loss this season?
We went, to the side.
I've noticed that.
That's a faraway shot. That's not to say that there's going to be more coming up. I didn't really think about it. But I just did it and try to make it believable.
What's next for the self-proclaimed world-famous chef?
I like to pitch a sports cooking show because, chef is what I was.
It's been nearly a week since their mother's death at an alternative health clinic in Mexico. But tonight, the 4 King children have come out of the shadows and into the bright media spotlight that has defined their lives.
You sort of maybe rise to the expectations of what you have to do.
We talked about the huge outpouring of love and support people have shown both here and around the world.
A hero is without honor in his or her home, and to see this outpouring here in her home, the place, the community that she loves so much, it really touches us tremendously, and I know she's smiling.
Bernice had become her mother's primary caregiver. She told me she had a lot of anxiety about preparing her for the Salute to Greatness dinner, her mother's first and last public appearance after her stroke last fall.
Kind of excited about it because she really wanted to be there. I think she perhaps even knew that this would be her last appearance in public, and insisted on going even though she had become a little weaker by then.
But never too weak to greet the people she loved and who obviously loved her.
I think hopefully she'll be remembered as not just the widow of, which she's often referred as in the media, of Martin Luther King Jr., but truly a partner, as he gave her deference in that way in the struggle for human and civil rights.